Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We'd love to get our hands dirty with the data, and today we're going to be looking at GoPuff hustling.
Yeah, it's a fascinating world, and
We've got actually some really good material to work with today, right?
absolutely.
1,000 Ways to Hustle, the GoPuff section, is pretty in-depth.
Yeah, it really gets into, the nitty-gritty of it all.
So we want to kind of give you the tools to really maximize, your earnings as a GoPuff delivery partner.
Right.
So let's just jump right to it. When we talk about GoPuff, a lot of people, they think, oh, it's just another, food delivery app.
Right.
But it's kind of unique in a way, right?
It is. Unlike those other platforms, GoPuff owns their inventory. So you're not dealing with, multiple restaurants and different menus and wait times.
Yeah.
They got these micro-fulfillment centers where they stock everything.
Yeah.
And it's all about that, speed and convenience.
I mean, and they've got everything. I was looking at this. I mean, they've got, snacks and drinks, cleaning supplies, over-the-counter meds. It's kind of like a,
It's a one-stop shop.
one-stop shop for all those,
Yeah.
kind of everyday essentials.
Yeah.
So, but before we get into like the specific strategies and really getting into the details of the hustle,
Yeah.
we need to understand the gig itself. Like, how does this all work?
Well, it all starts with understanding, the independent contractor model.
Okay.
So you're basically your own boss. You set your own hours. You choose, when and where you want to work.
That's cool.
But that also means you're responsible for everything, gas, vehicle, maintenance, insurance, and of course, taxes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so it's like you're running a business then.
Exactly.
It's not just like, clocking in and clocking out. It's like you are the CEO of your own.
Exactly. You're the CEO of your own little delivery empire.
Yeah, of your GoPuff empire. So I mean it's a lot of responsibility. I mean,
Yeah.
are there any kind of like, tips or things that drivers should be aware of in terms of like managing all that?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is meticulous tracking.
Okay.
You've got to be really diligent about, logging your mileage, keeping all those gas receipts, and noting any vehicle-related expenses.
Right.
Because it all adds up, and come tax time, those records are going to be your best friend.
Okay, so it's organization.
Organization is key.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keep track of everything. I mean, that's, it's good advice for anyone, really, right?
Absolutely.
So, okay, let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about the actual earnings.
Okay.
How does GoPuff actually pay its drivers?
So the pay structure is based on a commission per delivery,
Okay.
which varies depending on, distance, order size, and a few other factors. But the real game changer here are the tips.
Oh.
Those are all yours, and they can make a significant difference in your overall earnings.
So like being a customer service, superstar is key.
Absolutely. Those tips can really add up.
Right.
So being friendly, being efficient, making that customer's day can really boost those earnings.
And I've also heard about like peak pay and guaranteed earnings.
Yes.
What's the deal with those?
So peak pay is basically a bonus
Okay.
for working during those high demand times like, Friday nights or when there's a big game on or something.
Right.
And so GoPuff will actually increase that base pay to entice more drivers to get out there and
Yeah.
meet that demand.
So it's like surge pricing,
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
surge pricing, so you can really capitalize on those busy times.
Okay.
And then in some areas, they even offer guaranteed hourly minimums.
Okay.
So that's basically a safety net to ensure you're making, a certain amount even during those slower periods.
Okay. So you've got like kind of a floor and then, the potential to really,
Exactly.
make good money during those peak times.
Exactly. You've got that stability, but also the opportunity to really boost your earnings.
Okay, I like it. All right, so let's say I'm sold. I'm like I want to join the GoPuff crew.
Yeah. What's
What's the next step? What do I got to do?
Well, the application process is pretty straightforward. It all starts online,
Okay.
either through their website or the driver app. And you'll just need to provide, some basic info, driver's license, details, vehicle information.
Okay.
And then they'll also run a background check
Makes sense.
just to ensure, you're a safe and responsible driver.
Yeah, you're going to be, entrusted with all those goodies.
Exactly.
So what about the vehicle requirements? I mean, can I just show up with any old car?
Well, it can vary by location.
Okay.
In some cities, you might need a car with a certain amount of cargo space.
Right.
Especially if you're delivering, larger orders.
Right. Right.
But the one thing that's really important is to make sure your car insurance covers commercial use. Just in case anything happens, you want to make sure you're protected.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught off guard with insurance issues.
Exactly.
So once I'm approved, what happens next?
So once you're cleared, you'll go through an onboarding process where you'll learn the ropes of the GoPuff platform, get familiar with the delivery process, and maybe even, take a trip to your local micro-fulfillment center.
Cool.
And they'll also introduce you to the all-important GoPuff driver app.
Okay, the lifeblood.
It's your trusty companion for all things GoPuff hustling.
Right.
It's going to be your best friend.
And speaking of the app, I'm curious, like, how does it work in action? Is it just like accepting orders and following directions, or is there
more to it.
Is there more to it?
Yeah, there's definitely more to it. The app is actually quite sophisticated. It shows you delivery requests with, details about the order, the estimated payout, even the customer's location.
Okay.
But here's where it gets strategic. You don't have to accept every order that comes your way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, I could be picky about which deliveries I take. I thought you had to, like, accept everything or you'd get penalized.
Right. So while GoPuff isn't as strict about acceptance rates as some other platforms consistently rejecting orders could raise some eyebrows.
Right.
But the real key here is strategic acceptance.
Okay.
You got to weigh factors like distance payout and time of day to determine if an order is worth your time and effort.
Okay, so give me an example. Like, let's say I get a ping for like a 3-mile delivery.
Okay.
With a $5 payout, but it's like rush hour.
Yeah.
Is that a good deal?
Probably not. You're going to be battling traffic, burning gas, and potentially losing out on more lucrative deliveries.
Right.
But if you get like a 1-mile delivery for $7 during a slow period, that's a much better use of your time and resources.
Okay, so it's all about maximizing those earnings per hour.
Exactly.
Not just like, per delivery.
Right.
It's about the bigger picture.
Your bigger picture, exactly.
Okay, sure. So, okay, once I accept a delivery, what happens next? Like, does it just like, tell me where to go?
Pretty much, yeah. The app will guide you to the micro-fulfillment center.
Okay.
Where you'll pick up the order, which is usually already prepped and ready to go.
All right.
And then you'll use the app's navigation to reach the customer's location and complete the delivery.
Okay, so sounds pretty straightforward, but I'm guessing there's more to it than just like, following directions.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to think about things like parking, especially in busy areas.
Right.
Finding a legal and convenient spot can save you valuable time and frustration.
Okay.
And then there are those apartment complexes.
Yeah.
Knowing the layouts, building numbers, parking situations can make a huge difference in your delivery speed.
So knowing your area like the back of your hand.
It's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what else can drivers do to like up their game, once they kind of have the basics down?
Well, one word, efficiency. The faster you complete deliveries, the more you can squeeze into your shift.
Right.
Which translates to higher earnings.
Right.
That means, organizing your vehicle for quick order retrieval.
Okay.
Maybe investing in a few insulated bags to keep those groceries at the perfect temperature.
Good idea.
Happy customers mean better tips.
Yeah, right.
And it also means being mindful of your time management. Minimizing distractions and staying focused on the task at hand.
Right. Stay focused.
Exactly.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize. Okay, and there's one thing I keep hearing about that I'm a little bit hesitant about.
Oh, yeah.
Multi-apping.
Yeah.
Is it really worth the hassle of juggling multiple delivery apps at once?
Well, it's a high-risk, high-reward game.
Okay.
Done strategically, it can definitely boost your earnings, but it can also lead to, overwhelm, missed deadlines, and unhappy customers if you're not careful.
Right.
It's all about finding that balance and understanding the potential pitfalls. Okay, yeah, that's something I definitely need to weigh carefully. But for now, I think we've covered, a lot of ground in terms of understanding, like the basics of GoPuff hustling.
Yeah, we've laid the foundation.
But
there's so much more to explore.
Right.
From advanced hustle strategies to navigating the legal and ethical considerations of being an independent contractor.
Ooh.
You've got a lot more to unpack.
Okay, well, I'm definitely ready for more. Bring on those advanced strategies and insider secrets.
Let's do it. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how to really maximize those GoPuff earnings.
Okay.
It's not just about, taking every order that comes your way. It's about being strategic.
Right.
Working smarter, not harder.
Okay. I like it. Give me those insider secrets.
All right. So one of the most important things is knowing your area.
Okay.
Like the back of your hand. And I'm not just talking about like major streets and highways. I'm talking about those hitting shortcuts. those back alleys, even the best parking spots around those tricky apartment complexes.
Okay, so it's more than just, looking at Google Maps. It's about like really getting a feel for
Exactly.
like,
it's that local knowledge that can really make a difference.
But isn't that something that like you kind of gain over time? Like, how could a new driver,
right,
kind of get a leg up in that department?
Well, it's a combination of experience and research.
Okay.
So before you even hit the road, spend some time studying maps,
Yep.
familiarizing yourself with different neighborhoods, even using tools like Google Street View
Oh, that's a good idea.
to kind of get a virtual feel for your delivery zone.
I never thought about using Google Street View for that.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
That's a really good tip. Okay, so once you've got like the lay of the land down, what's next?
Well, the next level is identifying those high demand areas.
Okay.
Those hot spots where orders are consistently flowing in.
All right, so we're talking like, bustling downtown areas.
Exactly.
College campuses.
Yeah.
Maybe those neighborhoods packed with, young families who are always ordering in.
Absolutely. All those places where people are, constantly needing stuff.
Right. But how do you actually like pinpoint those hot spots?
Well, the GoPuff app itself can provide some clues.
Oh.
Pay attention to the areas where you're frequently getting delivery requests.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to do some good old-fashioned observation. Drive around different neighborhoods during peak hours, see where the action is.
So it's a little bit of detective work.
A little bit.
Okay, so you're in a high demand area. Timing is everything.
Absolutely.
Like, when are those peak hours when the magic really happens?
So peak hours are typically, evenings, weekends.
Okay.
And those late night cravings, when people are, maybe too tired to go out or they just need something quick and easy.
Right. Those impulse buys.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm in the zone. It's peak hours. Orders are rolling in. What can I do to like maximize my efficiency?
Okay, well, this is where organization becomes your superpower.
Right.
Think about how you can set up your vehicle for like quick and easy order retrieval.
Okay.
Maybe invest in some storage bins or organizers to keep, those snacks and drinks separated and easily accessible.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and, consider using insulated bags or coolers to keep those groceries at the perfect temperature.
Right. Keep everything fresh.
Happy customers mean better tips.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm already like picturing myself transforming my car into like a mini GoPuff warehouse on wheels.
There you go.
But, let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
Even with the best planning and preparation, you're bound to encounter some bumps in the road, right?
Absolutely.
Like slow periods, vehicle troubles, those dreaded, difficult customers. I mean, it's all part of the GoPuff hustle, right?
It comes to the territory.
It comes with the territory. Okay, so let's tackle those one by one.
Okay.
First up, slow periods. Those moments when you're like staring at the app, wondering if anyone's ever going to order anything again.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those lulls without getting discouraged?
Well, patience is key.
Okay.
Remember, those slow periods are usually temporary.
Right.
Use that downtime to regroup, maybe explore different areas within your delivery zone.
Okay.
Or even catch up on a podcast or an audiobook. A little mental break can go a long way.
Yeah, recharge those batteries.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing those slow periods are also a good time to like check your earnings.
Yes.
Track those expenses.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're on top of the financial side of the hustle.
All those things that you might not have time for when you're busy.
Right. Okay. What about vehicle troubles?
Yeah.
Those can really throw a wrench in your plans.
They can. And that's why preventive maintenance is so crucial. Regular checkups, oil changes, tire rotations, all those little things can help prevent those major breakdowns.
Right.
That could sideline you for days.
So it's like investing in your business.
Exactly.
Keeping your vehicle in tip-top shape is essential.
It's your bread and butter.
Yeah. But even with a well-maintained car, things happen.
Of course.
What's your advice for dealing with like those unexpected vehicle issues?
Well, always have a backup plan.
Okay.
Maybe a reliable friend or family member who could lend you a vehicle in a pinch.
Okay.
Or even access to a rental car service.
Okay.
And consider setting aside a small emergency fund to cover, unexpected repairs or towing costs.
Okay, good tips. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Difficult customers. Those interactions can really test your patience and your customer service skills.
Absolutely. You're going to encounter all sorts of personalities out there, from the overly demanding to the downright rude.
Right. But isn't it tempting to like fire back a snarky comment when someone's being unreasonable?
I get it, but it's important to remember that you're representing GoPuff.
Right.
Maintaining a calm and courteous demeanor is crucial, even in those challenging situations.
Okay, so like kill them with kindness.
Exactly.
What if like a situation really escalates?
Well, if a situation escalates, don't hesitate to contact GoPuff support.
Oh, okay, so there's like a whole support system in place
Absolutely.
to help drivers navigate those tricky customer interactions.
They've got your back.
Okay, that's reassuring, but even with the best support, some customers are just like impossible to please.
Oh, yeah, you're going to encounter those.
So what's your advice for dealing with those situations?
Sometimes the best course of action is to simply disengage politely.
Oh.
Complete the delivery as quickly and professionally as possible. Remember, your goal is to provide a positive experience for the majority of your customers.
Right.
And one difficult interaction shouldn't derail your entire day.
That's a good point. It's all about focusing on the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Not letting those negative experiences get you down. Okay. But what about those times when things go wrong?
Uh-huh.
Even if it's not the customer's fault.
Okay.
Let's say you accidentally spill a drink or damage an item during delivery. What happens then?
Well, accidents happen, but it's important to handle them responsibly.
Okay.
If you damage an item, immediately contact GoPuff support.
Okay.
And explain the situation. They'll guide you through the process of resolving the issue with the customer.
Okay.
And if necessary, filing a claim.
So transparency and clear communication are key.
Absolutely.
But I'm guessing there are things drivers should avoid doing in those situations.
Oh, for sure.
Like what?
Never try to hide a mistake or deliver a damaged item hoping the customer won't notice. That's a surefire way to damage your reputation and potentially face consequences from GoPuff.
Okay, so honesty is always the best policy.
Absolutely.
All right, let's shift our focus now to another crucial aspect of GoPuff hustling. That, I think, often gets overlooked. The financial side.
Yes, the money.
The money.
Managing your finances as an independent contractor is just as important as mastering those delivery strategies.
Right.
We're talking about tracking expenses, understanding taxes, and ensuring you're making a real profit, not just gross earnings.
Okay, let's break those down.
All right.
First up, expense tracking. We touched on it earlier.
Right.
But why is it so essential?
Well, remember, you're responsible for all those costs associated with your hustle.
Right.
Gas, vehicle, maintenance, insurance, even that data plan you're using to navigate the app.
Right.
If you're not diligently tracking those expenses, you're essentially operating in the dark,
Okay.
not knowing your true profit margins.
So it's not just about seeing those deposits hitting your bank account.
Right.
It's about understanding
The real cost of doing business.
the real cost of doing business.
Yeah.
What are some practical tips for effective expense tracking?
Well, there are tons of apps designed specifically for gig workers that can automate a lot of the tracking process. Okay.
Some even integrate with your bank account to categorize transactions and generate expense reports.
Oh, wow.
But even if you prefer a low-tech approach,
Mm-hmm.
a simple spreadsheet or notebook can do the trick. The key is consistency and accuracy.
Okay. These are some great suggestions.
Uh-huh.
Now, let's talk about the dreaded T word. Taxes. It's not the most exciting topic, but it's unavoidable for independent contractors.
It is.
So as a GoPuff driver, you're considered self-employed,
Right.
which means you're responsible for paying self-employment taxes, which includes Social Security and Medicare taxes.
That's right.
GoPuff will likely send you a 1099 form at the end of the year, summarizing your earnings, but it's up to you to accurately report that income and calculate your tax obligations.
Right. You're responsible for all of that.
Okay, that sounds a little daunting. Any advice for navigating the complex world of self-employment taxes?
Well, my best advice is to consult with a tax professional.
They can help you understand your specific tax obligations. Make sure you're taking advantage of all allowable deductions
Right.
and guide you through the filing process.
Okay, so it's worth investing in that professional guidance
Absolutely.
to make sure you're doing everything by the book.
All right.
Okay, so beyond the technicalities of taxes, it's also important to understand how to manage your earnings effectively, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of those immediate payouts.
Right.
But it's essential to develop a financial plan for your GoPuff earnings.
So we're talking about setting financial goals, creating a budget, maybe even considering setting aside some of those earnings for savings or investments.
Exactly. Think of your GoPuff hustle as a stepping stone to your larger financial goals.
Okay.
Whether you're saving for a down payment, paying off debt, or building a retirement fund, those GoPuff earnings can contribute to your overall financial well-being.
This is some great advice. I'm starting to see GoPuff hustling not just as a way to make extra cash, but as a way to, like, take control of my finances.
Absolutely.
Work toward my long-term goals.
That's the mindset shift that can really transform your experience as a GoPuff driver.
Okay.
It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding the potential impact of your efforts.
I like it, but let's not sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
There are also potential pitfalls to watch out for, right? Things that can derail your hustle and lead to financial setbacks.
Absolutely. One of the most common mistakes GoPuff drivers make is failing to account for those inevitable slow periods.
Right.
Remember, earnings can fluctuate, and relying solely on GoPuff income without a backup plan can be risky.
Okay, so it's important to have a cushion.
Yes.
Whether it's savings another income stream or a flexible budget that can accommodate those dips in earnings. What other pitfalls should drivers be aware of?
Well, another common trap is ignoring those all-important expenses.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of seeing those earnings roll in
Yeah.
and forget about the costs associated with running your GoPuff business.
Right. Those gas receipts and maintenance bills can really add up.
We do.
It's crucial to track those expenses diligently.
Absolutely.
And factor them into your overall earnings calculations.
Exactly. And speaking of calculations,
Ah.
failing to accurately report your income and pay self-employment taxes is a major pitfall
Right.
that can have serious consequences down the road.
So being organized,
Yeah.
maintaining accurate records, seeking professional guidance when needed
All those things.
are essential for avoiding those financial headaches.
Absolutely.
Any other words of caution before we move on?
Well, one last point I want to emphasize is the importance of safety.
Okay.
You know, rushing to make deliveries, getting distracted by multiple apps, or driving in unsafe conditions can lead to accidents and injuries, which can ultimately derail your entire hustle.
That's a crucial reminder. Safety should always be the top priority,
Always.
no matter how eager you are to make those deliveries. So we've covered a lot of ground in this, deep dive into GoPuff hustling. We looked at the app, the customer interactions, the financial side. We've really gone through a lot.
We've explored it all.
Yeah. But now let's kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Right.
What are the key takeaways? Yeah.
Well, I think for someone who's listening, it's like, okay, I'm ready to jump into this GoPuff world.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is to approach this gig with a strategic mindset.
Yeah. Okay.
Think of yourself not just as a delivery driver, but as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
You're building a business, even if it's, a one-person operation.
So it's not just about, driving around and taking whatever orders come your way.
Right.
It's about, setting goals, having a plan.
And constantly refining your approach.
Yeah.
Learning from your experiences and adapting to the ever-changing, gig economy landscape.
Okay, so how do you set realistic goals when, the income can be so unpredictable? Well, that's where, tracking and analysis come in.
Okay.
By diligently tracking your earnings, your expenses, your mileage, you can start to identify patterns.
Okay.
And make, data-driven decisions about your hustle, for example.
Yeah.
You might notice that you consistently earn more during certain hours or in specific areas.
Right.
Use that information to optimize your schedule. Target those high-earning opportunities.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
I like it. But even with the best strategy, there are bound to be ups and downs. How do you stay motivated?
Right.
How do you avoid getting discouraged when, those slow periods hit?
Yeah.
Or you encountered those inevitable challenges?
Resilience is key. Remember, those slow periods are usually temporary.
Right.
Use that downtime to regroup, reassess your strategy, and maybe even explore other income-generating opportunities.
Okay.
And when you face challenges, whether it's a difficult customer or an unexpected car repair, don't let them derail your entire hustle. View them as learning experiences, opportunities for growth.
It's all about having that positive mindset.
Absolutely.
And focusing on the long game. But let's be honest, money is a major motivator.
It is.
For most GoPuff drivers.
Of course.
What are some realistic expectations for earnings in this gig?
Well, earnings can vary widely depending on, factors like location hours worked and individual hustle strategies.
Right.
But it's important to remember that, those earnings are just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
The real value of GoPuff hustling and, frankly, any gig work is the flexibility and control it offers.
So it's about more than just the money.
Absolutely.
It's about having that that freedom, to set your own schedule, be your own boss, and potentially create a work-life balance, that aligns with your goals.
That aligns with your life.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's something that, traditional employment often can't provide.
But that freedom also comes with responsibilities.
It does.
Right. As an independent contractor, you're in charge of managing your own taxes, insurance, all the
administrative stuff.
Yeah. The not so fun stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talked about expense tracking, getting professional tax advice, but beyond like the financial and logistical aspects, there's also like an ethical dimension to GoPuff hustling, right?
Right.
Like how can drivers ensure they're operating with integrity, providing a positive experience for both customers and the GoPuff platform?
Well, integrity is paramount in any business.
Right.
Especially in the gig economy where reputation is everything.
Yeah, your ratings are everything.
They are.
So for GoPuff drivers, that means, being honest and upfront about your availability, handling orders with care, treating customers with respect.
Absolutely.
It's about representing GoPuff in a positive light.
Yep.
And upholding the standards of the platform.
And recognizing that your actions have consequences. Right. Not just for your own earnings, but for the entire, GoPuff ecosystem.
The whole community.
Exactly.
So building trust, fostering those positive relationships, with customers, with fellow drivers, with the GoPuff platform itself is essential.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's about, seeing yourself as part of a larger community and contributing to, a positive and sustainable gig economy.
Well said. Well said. All right. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
Now that you've absorbed all this information about GoPuff, hustling the strategies, the challenges, the financial considerations, the ethical implications, what will you do with it?
What will you do with it?
How will you apply this knowledge to create a GoPuff experience that's both profitable and fulfilling?
How will you set yourself apart as a GoPuff superstar?
The power is in your hands. Go out there, hustle smart. Make those GoPuff goals a reality. And stay tuned. For more deep dives into the world of side hustles, we'll keep exploring.
We'll keep exploring the gig economy.
This ever-evolving landscape.